The last time you felt genuinely sad and went shopping, you spent more than you planned. And here is the part no one tells you. Researchers can predict exactly how much more you will spend based on how sad you feel. It is not a personality flaw, it is hardwired. And by the end, you will understand exactly why. You've been there. Bad day at work, a fight with someone you love, that hollow feeling you cannot quite name. And somehow you end up scrolling through your phone or walking into a store, and before you know it, there's something in your cart. Then comes the guilt, the "why did I do that again" feeling. A lot of people blame themselves for this, call themselves impulsive or bad with money. But what if the real explanation has nothing to do with your personality and everything to do with what is actually happening inside your brain? Retail therapy is not a coping mechanism you invented or a weakness you developed. It is a documented, predictable, neurological response to emotional pain. And once you understand the mechanism, everything changes. In 2008, researchers Cynthia Kreider and Scott Rick at Carnegie Mellon University ran a striking experiment. They made participants feel sad by showing them a video clip of a boy losing his mentor. Then they offered both the sad group and a neutral group the exact same item to purchase. The sad participants were willing to pay, on average, over 300% more for the same product. Not a little more, 3 times more. That is not impulse shopping. That is your brain doing something very specific when it is in pain. Here is what actually happens inside you, step by step. First, you experience a loss of control, of connection, or of status. Second, your brain registers this as a direct threat to your sense of self. Third, your prefrontal cortex, the part that handles rational decisions, gets partially overridden by your emotional brain. Fourth, your brain starts scanning for anything that can restore the agency you just lost. And fifth, buying something feels like taking action, and taking action, even a tiny one, quiets the alarm. Think about what a purchase actually gives you in that moment. You made a decision, you had a want, and you met it. In a moment where your life feels like it is happening to you, buying something is one of the only places where you feel like the one in charge. Psychologists call this personal control restoration. Your brain is not being irrational. It is trying to solve a real problem, the loss of agency, just with a tool that sometimes creates a new one. The researchers who ran that Carnegie Mellon study put it in a way that really stuck with me. They found that sadness creates what they described as a self-focused state, a state where you are intensely aware of what you lack and powerfully motivated to change your circumstances. That is the engine behind every sad shopping trip you have ever taken. And here is the part that surprised me most when I first read this research. Sad people and stressed people do not spend the same way. Stress can actually make you more cautious with money, more avoidant, but sadness does the opposite. It opens the wallet because stress feels like danger, and danger makes you conserve resources. Sadness feels like loss, and loss makes you reach for something to fill it. These are two completely different emotional economies happening in your brain. But here is what most people get wrong about retail therapy. They think the relief comes from the item itself, the new shoes, the gadget, the takeaway order. But the research shows the emotional relief often arrives before the item does, sometimes before you even check out. Because what you are actually buying is not the product. It is the feeling of having made a choice. The purchase is almost incidental. You're buying the feeling of agency, and your brain has already collected what it came for the moment you decided to buy. That is why you can add things to a cart and never purchase them and still feel slightly better. That is not weird. That is the mechanism working exactly as designed. Researchers actually break emotional spending into three distinct patterns. 1. Acquisition spending. You buy something new to feel something new, to interrupt the emotional flatness with a small jolt of novelty. 2. Escapism spending. Here, the act of browsing is the relief, not the purchase. You're just grateful to be thinking about something other than what hurts. 3. Identity spending. You buy things that represent the person you want to be when sadness has made you feel like you have lost sight of who you are. Each pattern is your brain attempting a slightly different version of the exact same repair job. The American Psychological Association found that 18% of Americans named shopping as their primary strategy for managing sadness and stress. And the people who use it report genuine, immediate emotional relief. The relief is real. It is measurable. But the same research shows a significant drop in well-being within 24 hours as spending guilt moves in. The short-term gain is real. The longer-term cost is also real. And that gap between those two things is exactly the trap. So here is where this actually becomes useful. Because once you understand the mechanism, once you see that what your brain is really looking for is agency, not a product, you stop fighting yourself and start working with your brain instead of against it. The goal is not to never feel the urge. The urge is going to come. The goal is to give your brain the thing it is actually asking for without the side effects. 3 things that actually give your brain the agency hit it is hunting for. 1. The micro-decision move. When the spending urge hits, make a tiny, unrelated decision instead. Clean one shelf. Choose what you are cooking for dinner. Send a message you have been putting off. Your brain gets the sense of agency it was chasing without touching your wallet. 2. The cart and wait method. Add whatever you want to your cart, then close the app and wait 24 hours. You get the dopamine of choosing without the financial consequence. And most of the time, the emotion will have passed and you will not even want the item anymore. 3. Name the actual loss. Say it out loud or write it down. What specifically did you lose control of today? A conversation? A situation at work? A relationship dynamic? When your brain can see the real problem, it stops reaching for substitutes. Remember that chain from earlier. Emotional loss, threat to self, rational brain gets overridden, you seek agency, and then the spending impulse fires. You can now interrupt that chain at any point, not by willpower, by substitution. You give the brain what it actually needs at step 4 before it ever reaches step 5. Remember that number from the very beginning. Sad people paying 3 times more for the exact same object. That is not a flaw in you. That is your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do, trying to restore your sense of agency when something has taken it away. You are not weak for feeling this urge. You are completely, entirely human for feeling it. The only real difference between someone who understands this and someone who does not is that one of them has a name for what is happening in their brain when the feeling hits. And now, so do you. If you found this useful, the video on why your brain craves certainty more than happiness goes even deeper into how emotions hijack your decision-making. And if this kind of thing helps, subscribing takes 2 seconds and it genuinely keeps this work going.